It is normal to lose 40 to 80 hairs each day, but this should not be worrisome, since other hairs replace the hairs that have been lost. When this replacement does not occur, baldness ensues. Hair loss in men, and to a lesser degree in women, is a normal process after a certain age. However, baldness madness may also be the first symptom of a skin disease, a vitamin deficiency, a thyroid malfunction, or a constant state of stress. The herbs and supplements in this unit can help stop hair loss, not only for male pattern baldness, but also for the other causes of alopecia. There are ways to use herbal treatments to strengthen hair. One is poultices. Poultices are made by crushing the herb in a mortar or by grinding it in an electric grinder. Spread the resulting paste onto a gauze pad. It is good to heat the poultice to body temperature before applying it. Using an iron is easiest. Leave it on the scalp for 5 to 10 minutes. After removing the poultice, rinse hair with lemon juice diluted in water. The poultices to strengthen hair can be made with watercress, stinging nettle, garden nasturtium, great burdock, maidenhair fern. Number 2 is lotions. Lotion is a liquid applied with a gentle massage on the skin, in this case, on the scalp. Lotions are applied once or twice per day. After allowing it to dry for 10 to 20 minutes, rinse the scalp with diluted lemon juice. Lotions to strengthen the hair can be made with juice or with an infusion of watercress, stinging nettle, common thyme, garden nasturtium, or maidenhair fern. Lastly, compresses. Soak a cloth in the infusion or preparation of the herb cool to body temperature, and apply it onto the scalp for 10 to 15 minutes, 1 to 3 times per day. Remove the compress, then rinse the scalp with diluted lemon juice. Compresses can be made with the infusion of any of the herbs recommended for strengthening the hair. Compresses with a preparation of quinine bark or burdock root are especially effective. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Ezekiel. We tour rural Kenyan villages, we explain their interesting lifestyles and teach a little of practice nutrition or exercise that will make you live a better healthy life, fight diseases or complications in life. Please allow me to tell you something about your stomach. The primary function of the stomach is to mix consumed food with gastric juices, thereby beginning the complex process of digestion. The inside of the stomach has the peculiarity of being able to reflect mood. Anger makes it turn red. Fear, pale. Excitement, it begins to contract. Stress, it starts to secrete juices. All of this is due to the fact that there is a direct connection between the brain and the stomach, by way of the autonomic nervous system. Any anxiety or emotions affect stomach function. Because the stomach can break down and digest proteins, it is worthwhile to question why it does not digest itself, being that it is primarily made up of proteins. This does not occur in normal conditions, thanks to the stomach's true mucus barrier that wraps around it like a film and protects its inside from the acidy juices. When this mucus barrier is breached, stomach juices attack the stomach's own wall, causing gastritis and stomach ulcers. The stomach needs special care in order to preserve the protective mucus barrier. This care includes regular meals, respecting the stomach's needed rest periods. Good stomach function is reflected in the facial expression and reflects favorably on the whole body. I'm just starting the lesson, so guys, join me in my next video and see how we can maintain a good sight with natural practices and food we must eat for a good vision. Although it could be compared to a photography device because of the functions it carries out, the eye is much more than that. It is the location of one of the greatest miracles of life. Sight. The extraordinary complexity of the eye is one of the greatest arguments against the theory of evolution. This was already true in Darwin's times, when the eye was not as well known as it is today. The eyes have cornea, clear layer covering the front of the eye. There is iris, diaphragm that is capable of opening and closing the pupil to regulate the passage of light into the eye. There is macula, the most sensitive area of the retina, where visual acuity is concentrated. Retina. Thin membrane made up of light sensitivity cells, rods and cones. Sclera. Fibrous outer layer that protects the eye. Oculomotor muscles, which have been given amazing precision. Bones of the face. They make up an ideal protective enclosure for the eye. Wearing glasses for certain jobs is the simplest and most effective way to care for the eye. Due to the current deterioration of the ozone layer of the stratosphere, more and more invisible ultraviolet light is reaching us along with solar radiation. These ways promote the development of cataracts and retinal damage, among others. Sunglasses protect the eyes against excessive solar radiation and the wind. Look off into the distance once in a while. They say that sailors have beautiful eyes because they spend so many hours looking off into the distance. Reading or looking close up for too long should be avoided, especially in low lighting conditions. Hands tend to carry a number of bacteria and other germs that, when they come into contact with the eyes, can cause conjunctivitis and other serious infections, such as trachoma. Avoid eye irritants. Avoid wind, smoke, dust, volatile chemical substance and pollen from certain trees and plants in springtime. Use flat screen monitors whenever possible. Avoid screen glare. Get as far away from the monitor as possible, and lastly, adjust the monitor to below eye level for a more comfortable visual angle. Just like any high-tech precision machine, the eyes require a regular maintenance plan over the entire lifetime. Blink your eyes often. With each blink, the eyes are cleansed and refreshed, thanks to the secretion of tears that continually bathe their surface. Get enough sleep. During sleep, the retinal pigments necessary for vision regenerate, thereby recovering from the day's wear and tear. A lack of sleep exhausts the retina's visual capacity and causes redness and irritation of the conjunctive membrane that covers the anterior pole of the eye. A diet rich in antioxidants. The eyes are very sensitive to the oxidation produced by free radicals. Cataracts, macular degeneration of the retina and other significant causes of vision loss are a result of an excess of free radicals. A diet rich in antioxidant fruits and vegetables neutralizes free radicals and protects the delicate structures of the eye that allow vision. Be careful with lightning. The light from a non-electronic fluorescent tubes also oscillates, turning on and off continually 50 or 60 times per second. That is the reason they cause eye fatigue than incandescent or halogen lamps, which give off a constant light. Avoid tobacco and alcohol because it irritates the eyes. Smoking habits damages the eyes more and more as it reduces blood flow to the retina, increases the level of free radicals that damage the lens and the retina, and finally decrease all loss of vision. What we do not see can blind us. Ultraviolet radiation is not visible to the eyes, but in excess eye damage and decreased vision. The eyes are designed to receive light, and in a specific way from the sun. In addition, they need light to continue to function and not become atrophied. Not only the eyes but our entire body and all of nature require light from the sun. A little light is necessary, but a lot will damage the eyes. The planet Earth has the optimal conditions for the development of life as we know it. Therefore, any small variation in the physical condition that surround us, including the intensity and type of radiation received, can make life impossible. The human mind infers naturally that this planet has been designed intelligently to sustain life, and especially humankind. That is what is stated in the anthropic principle, which has been studied extensively by science. These are the damage caused by excessive solar radiation to the eyes. On the eyelids, basal cell carcinoma, a type of skin cancer. On the cornea absorbs a good part of the ultraviolet radiation that reaches the eye. It has been shown that high intensities of UVC and UVB rays trigger the production of interleukin in the cornea, a substance that causes inflammation, promoting these disorders, photokeratitis, pterygium, also known as growth on the eye. It is an abnormal growth on the conjunctiva, similar to a scar, that eventually covers the cornea. On the lens there is cataracts. Cloudiness of the lens, more common with age. It is currently the most significant cause of blindness in the world. Before we continue, kindly like and subscribe. Thank you. Water is very beneficial for the eyes, whether used for rinses or baths. Vegetables, foods such as cucumbers, applied directly over the eyelids are also beneficial. The eye rinse is basic hygiene. It is very recommended for conjunctivitis and other infections. It is one of the easiest treatments to administer to children. Apply the water with a sterile, if possible, syringe, allowing it to flow over the eye without any pressure toward the temple, to avoid contaminating the other eye. Open and close the eye during the rinse. Eye bath allows a more prolonged contact between the liquid and the eye than an eye rinse. Caution: if using medicinal plant infusions as liquids for the eye bath, such as chamomile or common thyme, be careful because they can cause allergic reactions in people who are sensitive to them or who are allergic to pollen. If you are new here, I'm Ezekiel. In this channel we tour different Kenyan villages exploring their interests and ideas, their jobs and hustle, their backload and problems they face in their different fields and areas. As we explore these areas, I dive in and tell a bit healthy tips that exercise and prevention on how we can live a happy, healthy lives. The female genital organs are varied and complex, requiring a great deal of special care. The vulva and vagina are continually subjected to the threat of infection. Because their humidity and temperature levels are an ideal location for the development of many germs, the vulva, and especially the vagina, always need systems ready to protect against infection. The most significant and effective system for preventing vaginal infections is keeping an acidic environment that inhibits bacteria development. This vaginal acidity is achieved thanks to the lactic acid produced by Dodolines bacilli, rod-shaped bacteria normally found in the vagina. Any foreign product, such as soaps or contraceptive foams, or any local irritation, makes the vagina lose its acidity and promotes infection by bacteria such as Gardnerella vaginalis, or by fungi such as the Candida family, which manifests as abnormal vaginal discharge. The most complex and amazing function in the known universe takes place inside the uterus, gestation of a human being that begins with 2 microscopic reproductive cells. Human life begins in the uterus, but for some women who do not undergo gynecological exams, it can also end there, as cervical cancer is one of the most common cancers next to breast cancer. Hygiene, periodic gynecological exams, and responsible sexual behavior are the best ways to care for the female genitalia. Clean the genitals once per day with running water, moving fingers through the folds between the labia minora. Avoid overcleaning as it removes beneficial bacteria and protective substances from skin. In general, the genitals should be cleaned no more than once per day. Clean the genitals area from front to back to avoid spreading bacteria such as Escherichia coli and Candida fungi from the anal area to the vagina and urinary opening. Avoid frequent douching, as it eliminates the normal protective vaginal flora. During menstruation, clean external genitalia with water once or twice per day. Feminine cleansing cloths may also be used. If using tampons, change them at least 3 times per day. If using soap, it should be very mild and have a neutral or slightly acid pH, around 6.3. Unless it is needed, use soap only 2 or 3 days rather than daily. Avoid anything that alkalinizes vaginal pH, such as regular soaps and shampoos, certain intimate soaps and deodorants, diaphragms with spermicide and contraceptive foams. The vagina needs to keep a slightly acid in order to prevent fungal and bacterial infections. Regular use of tampons is not recommended as it dries out the vaginal mucosa. Tampons must be changed every 6 to 8 hours. Do not leave tampons in place overnight. High absorbency tampons promote the spread of streptococcus, staphylococcus, and other bacteria which can result in toxic shock. Prefer cotton garments as they absorb moisture and keep the skin dry better than synthetic fabrics. Avoid clothing that is too tight, as it blocks needed air circulation in the genital area. Do not leave on a wet bathing suit. Use panty liners only on the last days of the period, not daily, as they block natural perspiration. Watch out for those that have perfume and deodorants that irritate and change the vagina's natural acidity. One, fallopian tubes carry the ovum from the ovary to the uterus. Fusion between sperm and ovum occurs in its distal third. The tubes are often the location of infections, generally due to germs that come up from the vagina. The vagina normally cleans itself, making it unnecessary to clean inside it. The vaginal walls produce a fluid that transports dead cells and germs to the outside. The uterus is just a hollow muscular organ that is able to hold a developing fetus. The ovaries take turns releasing an ovum, a reproductive cell, each menstrual cycle. During a woman's fertile life, the ovaries produce female hormones. Moisture and lack of air circulation are the primary enemies of genital hygiene. It has been shown that the greater the number of sexual partners over a lifetime, especially before age 21, the higher the risk of cervical cancer. Avoid intercourse at an early age. Starting to have sexual intercourse early not only promote vaginal infection with the herpes virus, the human papillomavirus, and various bacteria, but it also increases the risk of invasive cervical cancer. Foods, plants, baths, and massages contribute to feminine well-being. These are the foods that promote hormonal balance. Squash seeds, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, or flaxseed. Walnuts and almonds. Legumes, including soy. Soy drinks and tofu, raw or cooked carrots or carrot juice. A sitz bath with warm or room temperature water is very useful for feminine hygiene, especially with a genital infection. In order to achieve an antiseptic and protective effect, one of the following products may be added to bath water. Lemon juice, 2 to 3 lemons per liter of water. Vinegar, 2 to 4 tablespoons. Tea tree oil, Melaleuca alternifolia. 10 drops per liter of water. Pordaco preparation. Tababuia impetigonosa. 60 grams of back for every little of water, cooked for 5 minutes. Place 3 to 5 drops of essence of lemon balm or sage onto the pelvic area, without touching the genitals, and massage gently. Has a relaxing and sedative effect that is especially useful for painful menstrual periods. In addition to the natural treatments in the previous unit, these recommendations provide relief for dysmenorrhea. Every woman who has dysmenorrhea should undergo a gynecological exam to rule out organic causes for her menstrual pain, including endometriosis, pelvic inflammatory disease, or retroverted uterus. Avoid refined sugars. Increase intake of seeds like squash, sunflower, sesame, and flax and walnuts. Take 400 IU per day of vitamin E supplements. Completely eliminate tobacco and caffeine, as they stimulate uterine contractions. Heat over the pelvic area, such as a hot water bottle or clay poultice, has a relaxing effect for uterine muscle spasms that cause menstrual pain. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Ezekiel. In this channel we tour different Kenyan villages exploring their interests and ideas, their jobs and hustle, their backload and problems they face in their different fields and areas. As we explore this areas, I dive in and tell a bit healthy tips that exercise and prevention on how we can live a happy healthy lives. Keeping the heart in good condition requires at least 30 minutes of vigorous exercise per day, or 40 minutes, 3 times per week. Vigorous exercise is exercise that causes perspiration. With physical activity, the branches of the coronary arteries open up and the heart muscle receives better blood flow. Waist size is an indicator of total body fat. The higher the number of fat cells, the greater the risk of type 2 diabetes and cholesterol deposits in the arteries. If the waist measures over 102 centimeters, about 40 inches in men, or 88 centimeters, about 35 inches in women, a weight control program should be started. Let's talk about healthy bowel movement a bit. Having a bowel movement is a physiological act that is reflexive and repetitive, almost ceremoniously. This ideal time for a bowel movement is in the morning after getting up. In order for this to happen, get up 10 or 15 minutes early, if necessary. Upon waking, drink a glass or 2 of room temperature water. This cleanses the stomach of the mucus that builds up overnight and stimulates the bowel movement reflex. Get in a position that allows for a bowel movement and relax, waiting as long as necessary for the bowel movement to occur. Squatting is the normal position for a bowel movement. Having a bowel movement in a seated position seems more comfortable. However, it promotes many disorders because it forces the abdomen and thorax to strain more to force out stool. You probably wonder why I tell you about this here. Squatting for bowel movements reduces anal fissures. If there is already a fissure, bowel movements are less painful and healing is faster. If hemorrhoids is already present, swelling and pain are reduced. Less diverticulosis, fewer abdominal hernias, including inguinal hernias. Less need to increase pressure in abdomen and thorax with straining of bowel movements. This increased pressure, called Valsalva's maneuver, reduces blood flow to the brain and coronary arteries, promoting fainting, strokes and other cardiovascular events. Stool should be visually checked immediately for anything unusual that could signal a disorder or disease. Along with having bowel movements in a seated position, the use of bath tissue for anal hygiene is another habit of modern Western society. The cellulose in bath tissue scratches and irritates the delicate skin and mucosa of the anus. It also does not achieve complete cleansing. On the other hand, water completely removes stool, which is hydrosoluble, without causing skin irritation. The most sanitary and healthy method for cleansing the anus after a bowel movement is simply washing it with water. Before we continue, please do like. Thanks. Now let's continue. Let me show you something else of a great interest. Are you ready? I hope so. Now let's dive in. Out of the entire female body, the breast cells are the most likely to degenerate and become cancerous. It is therefore important to know the factors increasing the risk of breast cancer and those reducing it. It is estimated that 5% of all breast cancers are related to a hereditary change in these 2 genes, which are charged with stopping cell growth. Hormone replacement therapy, usually given as patches after menopause, especially the combination of estrogens and progesterone, increase the risk of breast cancer. Taking oral contraceptives over long periods also increase the risk, although to a lesser degree than hormones for menopause. Even in socially acceptable low doses, alcohol increase the risk of cancer. It has been shown that for every 10 grams of alcohol per day, the risk of breast cancer increase by 7%. The higher the body mass index, the greater the risk of breast cancer, especially after menopause. Women who have larger breast cancer prevention, due to their increased risk of having it before menopause. Getting at least 4 hours of aerobic exercise per week reduces the risk of breast cancer by 30%. This content is meant to help teach the benefits of exercise, nutrition, and prevention of various deadly diseases that most of us ignore during our daily life activities. If it upsets you or makes you uncomfortable, please bear with me and you can point out any place that should be rectified and it will be done ASAP. Thank you. Caring for the belly includes preventing muscle distension and fat accumulation, which are promoted by a sedentary lifestyle. The abdomen is a pressurized cavity. The organs located in the abdomen tend to continually press against the abdominal wall, or belly. Fat also tends to accumulate in the belly. All of this causes waist size to increase over the years. It has been shown that the greater the waist size, the higher the risk of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. Abdominal exercises are the most effective for strengthening muscle structure, but any other exercise or sport also works. Please do not do any exercise that causes pain or increases existing pain. Always try to keep an upright posture to develop a flat belly. An upright posture, shoulders back and the back straight, tenses abdominal muscles and contributes to a flat belly. Reduce or eliminate alcohol consumption. Even in moderate or small amounts, alcohol increases cortisol levels, promoting fat accumulation in the belly. It has been shown that chronic or regular stress promotes fat accumulation in the belly due to the action of the hormones, cortisol, the level of hormone increases in stressful situations. Stress also tends to make people consume more food and exercise less, all in which contributes to fat accumulation in the belly. 9 of 10 exercise is the best way of healthy life. Kindly allow me to tell you something about your heart. The heart's never-ending, rhythmic beat stays with humans their entire lives, beginning long before birth. Starting on day 23 of intrauterine life, the heart begins to beat, so by the moment of birth, it has already beaten more than 40 million times. The heart is more than a muscle, it is truly a super muscle made of a special type of contracting fibers that can work continuously and with hardly any rest over an entire lifetime. This ability differentiates the heart from the rest of the body's muscles, which need to rest after exercise. In order to beat without testing throughout life, the heart requires a constant blood supply for itself. This blood comes by way of the coronary arteries, which are the first branches exiting the body's greatest pipeline, the aorta. When coronary artery blood flow is decreased or interrupted, the heart protests with sharp pressure-like pain, the main symptom of a heart attack. Caring for the heart involves, more than anything, keeping coronary arteries clear to ensure blood that the heart demands in order to perform its work. To develop a healthy body, it is essential to know how to take care of the heart. The heart rests at 0.5 seconds between the beats, at 5% of blood flow supplied by the heart. 2,500,000 liters pumped in a year. Did you know the heart beats 37 million times in a year? If you didn't know, please subscribe. Thank you. Now allow me tell you something small in a minute. Just getting up is an ideal time to take some deep breaths. During the night, breathing movements are shallow, and secretions tend to build up in the airways. With deep breathing, the brain becomes oxygenated and alert, the bronchial tubes are cleansed, and the entire respiratory system becomes prepared to provide the body with its most pressing need, oxygen. 10 deep breaths upon waking up also remind us, throughout the day, of the need to correctly breathe in fresh air. Each day, a period of at least half an hour must be enough to break a sweat, which helps eliminate toxins and prevent obesity. Tending to a vegetable or flower garden, or walking at a vigorous pace, are 2 of the most recommendable activities for the body and the mind. Each day it is necessary to be under the sun for a little while. If only the hands and face are uncovered, half an hour can be enough for light-skinned people to synthesize enough vitamin D. Dark-skinned people may need 50 to 60 minutes of exposure. Have I helped someone? If yes, tell me in the comment section. For the neck. Never start exercise when having severe pain. Whenever possible, and especially if there is stiffness, apply mild heat to the neck for 5 or 10 minutes prior to starting exercise. Then, massage the neck gently. This allows exercise to be better tolerated and have more beneficial results. To keep the neck in good condition, perform stretching and resistance strengthening exercises at least once per day. Keeping the neck flexible and avoiding muscle spasms and intervertebral disc deterioration are the primary challenges to caring for the neck. Kindly allow me help you. Sit correctly. Bad posture while seated is the primary cause of neck pain. When reading, writing, or working on the computer, avoid bending the neck towards the chest. Keep the neck erect, without thrusting the head forward. Are you sitting that way now, rolling off? I hope not, and if yes, rectify. The chin should be kept up and away from the chest. Adjust the back so that it is properly supported by the chair's backrest. Rest the forearms on the table. Avoid strain positions at work. Maintain a good sleeping position. Avoid draft on the neck. Correct use of automotive headrest. Do neck exercise. Every day, all neck muscles should be moved in order to avoid stiffness and contractures. The most recommended exercise for keeping the neck flexible mostly is neck massage, neck traction. Warm steam or shower on the neck. Dry heat on the neck, and lastly neck compresses. Are you tired? Tell me. Tell me, should I allow you rest? Okay, go drink some water, you will thank me later. Let's continue. The upper limbs make up a functional unit endowed with amazing abilities. The shoulder joint stands out among these, with its ability to perform the skeleton's most ample and varied movements, the arm, endowed with powerful biceps and triceps, the elbow, with its strength and stability, and the wrist, with its flexibility and resistance. All of these work together in harmony to allow each hand to have a broad range of motion, allowing them to reach nearly anything within a shoulder-centered sphere measuring about 120 cm in diameter. The arm also contributes to the hand being able to perform a wide variety of tasks with a surprising combination of strength and grace, power and precision. Thanks to the arm, the hand can reach just about anywhere on the body to do just about anything. It has been said that the hand is an extension of the brain. Brain and hand make an extraordinary tandem, with the ability to carry out the greatest or inspiring works and actions, such as creating, caressing and healing, but also the vilest of acts, including destruction, abuse or injury. This is a hardcore gym. It is based in the middle of Siaya town in Kenya, opposite a Hindi garden. The hospitality here is awesome. Training is only 50 Kenya shilling per day. The trainers are warm and friendly. Come one, come all, let's train and be fit. Keeping fit for healthy life. In the next episode I will tell you the lower part of the body muscles. Thank you for watching. Remain blessed. Thank you for watching. God bless you.